I know there's a few people still trying to get in that are having difficulties. I've received a couple messages, but we'll go ahead and get started. So I wanted to welcome you all to the fall 2020 season with Rideau Skating Club. We're super excited that we're back on the ice, but it will look very different this year. So I wanted to start off by introducing myself. So my name is Melissa Sargent, and I'm one of the co-chairs of our Emergency Epidemic Management Committee. This committee was created specifically this year to deal with COVID-related issues, and I can be reached at covid@rideauskating.ca. If you have any questions about any of our protocols or screening or anything like that. And if any of our coaches are online, did you guys want to turn on your cameras and just introduce yourselves quickly? Jan, did you want to start because your camera's on?
Sure. Hi, I'm Jan Calnan. I'm one of the coaches at Rideau as well, and welcome to this year. Let's all have fun, hopefully.
Brandy?
Hi, I'm Brandy Young. I am the Director of Coaching, and I've been a staff coach for a while, and I look forward to another exciting season with all these new changes and hopefully a better end than last year, because we did miss all our end of year events. So welcome everybody back.
Margot?
Hi there, I'm Margot. I'm one of the coaches. I'm also the club administrator, so most of you know me from that. If you have any questions about our programs, payments, registration, the website, how things work, please don't hesitate to give me a call or email me. I'm sure you all have received an email from me already. So welcome to Rideau Skating Club.
Robin?
Hi, I'm Robin. I'm one of the coaches. Looking forward to getting back on the ice with everyone.
And is Caitlin on anywhere? So Caitlin's one of our associate coaches. I had seen her. Nope. And Dan, is Laura with you? Oh, Dan's muted. Okay, so those are our staff coaches this year, and we will be doing most of the coaching of our Future Stars and Star Group program, and you will see us on the majority of the sessions. Well, there'll be one of us on every session throughout this season for those of you who are not familiar with us.
And we stand now. The mic wouldn't turn on for some reason. Laura will be here in a minute. She's just tied up for the moment.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Dan. And then the next set of people I wanted to introduce to you is our COVID Oversight Committee, which includes myself and our staff coach, Jan, who already introduced herself, and also Sue Stanitsky, who's the other co-chair of the Emergency Management Committee. Who was on somewhere. Okay, so as we go through the documents, please feel free to either ask the question in the chat box or wave at me. If I don't notice you, you can unmute yourself and just ask your question right away. So as I mentioned, I posted all of the documents into our chat box, but they will also be on our website shortly. So when you go onto our website, you'll see filtering through the top, there's a couple different things. And one of those is a link to our COVID-19 page. And on that page, we have a link to Skate Canada's documents, as well as Skate Ontario's documents, and then our own documents. When it comes to our COVID-19 protocols, we follow what Skate Ontario tells us, as well as what is the current protocols with the City of Ottawa. So all of our documents and information will be posted here. And Margot is actually currently working on doing some updates from our last minute changes today. So thank you, Margot, for that. Okay, so in our document is the contact information for our oversight committee. If you have symptoms, if you're being tested, if you have any questions, once again, this is the people that we want you to reach out to. You can also ask your private coach. All of our coaches have been on the ice throughout the summer, so we've all been working through these protocols for a couple months now. So every participant in club activities has to complete a waiver. So participants can include skaters or coaches, board members or volunteers, as well as the officials. Skaters and coaches will complete their waivers through our Uplifter registration system, and board members and volunteers may need to complete a digital copy. So to complete that, there's a link to the document on the Skate Ontario website, and you would just fill in your name on the website and then print to PDF. We did have issues in the summer with people trying to save it with their names, so I've put that in the document in case we ask you for a copy if you volunteer with us.
Melissa, sorry, it's Margot.
Yep.
The waiver is an automatic thing on Uplifter during registration.
Yep, for skaters and coaches.
We can do it for volunteers if you want.
Yeah, so if we register you as a volunteer through Uplifter, you would be able to complete the waiver that way. If for some reason we're using you as a volunteer and not using you through Uplifter, we would have to complete the waiver the other way. But we're hoping to do everything in Uplifter. So if an individual becomes unwell with symptoms of COVID-19, they must immediately stop participation in the club activities and be isolated from all others in a well-ventilated area or outside. And we will provide them with a non-medical face mask if one is available and needed if they are at the arena. They will be sent home and instructed to follow the public health guidelines regarding self-isolation and testing. We are required to inform the facility, and the facility may choose to shut down so that they can close and clean and disinfect. A member of the COVID Oversight Committee will be informed of the situation, and they will follow up with the parent as well as Ottawa Public Health in regards to the next steps. If an individual is tested for COVID-19, with an exemption for those who have to undergo routine testing for their workplace or personal reasons. So an example of this would be if you work in long-term care or you have a family member in long-term care, you may require testing to go in and visit them or to continue working. In that case, you would still be able to skate, but in all other cases, you would need to notify the club if you will be getting tested. Sorry, I'm just gonna try and make this bigger. Is it big enough for you guys or is it really small? The club will work with public health to consult the session participation tracking sheets and to inform other club members who might have been in close contact with the individual. At this time, close contact is defined as being 2 meters within 2 meters for a period lasting more than 15 minutes without appropriate or consistent use of PPE. Any club members who were in close contact with the individual should not participate in club activities and should follow public health guidelines until the diagnosis of COVID-19 is ruled out by health professionals. If an individual tests positive for COVID-19, they should inform a member of the club COVID-19 Oversight Committee as soon as possible. We will be assisting the facility and the public health with contact tracing by using our session participation tracking sheets. Any club members who were in close contact with the individual should also not participate in club activities for 14 days and should follow public health guidelines regarding self-isolation and testing. The club should should inform and work with the facility in the case of a positive COVID-19 result and determine if any additional cleaning or disinfecting should be performed as per the facility's guidelines. And we are required to inform Skate Ontario of a positive COVID-19 test. Returning to skating activities following illness. If no test was performed or the COVID-19 test was negative, the individual may only return to club activities once they no longer have any symptoms of COVID-19 for at least 24 hours or as recommended by Ottawa Public Health. So if Ottawa Public Health tells you longer than 24 hours, that's the requirement, but 24 is the minimum. Returning to the club activities following COVID-19. Following a positive COVID-19 test, an individual must follow all public health guidelines regarding returning to activities. The club is prepared to follow public health, municipal, provincial, government, and sport recommendations regarding modifying, restricting, postponing, or canceling activities. We do ask that all of our skaters notify their private coach as soon as possible if they are unable to attend a session. For Future Stars and Star Group skaters who do not have a private coach, you should notify Future Stars at rideauskating.ca. This will ensure we can notify the people at the door that you will not be there so they're not outside waiting, assuming that you're late. And it will also allow us to document if it's COVID related or if it's not COVID related, as our oversight committee will have to follow up with anyone who's away for COVID related symptoms. Refunds will only be provided for medical reasons as outlined in the club's refund policy. A prorated refund or credit less a refund processing fee of $30 will be granted for medical reasons supported by medical documentation. And no refunds will be given to skaters leaving on their own accord. This season, there will be no makeup sessions permitted for Future Stars and Star Group skaters. However, all other Star sessions permit a maximum of 3 per registered session. So if you are registered for Wednesday, Star 1 to 3, and Saturday, Star 3+, you would be permitted 3 makeup sessions for each of those sessions. We do ask that all makeup sessions be completed within fall 2020. For makeup sessions, you also need to contact your private coach to ensure that there's space on the session that you would like to make it up on. Club members will be informed as soon as possible of any modifications, restrictions, or cancellations. And club members will receive a prorated credit to their account for any cancellation or interruption of programs if the club is reimbursed by the City of Ottawa. Club members should follow all public health guidelines regarding COVID-19. These may include not participating in club activities if you have traveled outside of Canada in the last 14 days. If you have a government granted Canada travel exemption, please contact me at covid@rideauskating.ca so that we can work with the city to ensure you are permitted in the facility. Any individual who has been exposed to someone with COVID-19 case should self-isolate and is not permitted to participate in club, skating, school activities for at least 14 days. Anyone with symptoms of COVID-19 is not permitted to take part in club activities, and anyone who has someone in their household showing symptoms of COVID-19 should not participate in club activities. Rideau Skating Club adheres to Skate Canada's privacy policy as outlined in the COVID-19 waiver. There may be cases where Rideau Skating Club is required to collect, use, and disclose personal information about you or your child. Rideau Skating Club may be required to provide the City of Ottawa and Ottawa Public Health if there is an active or suspected case of COVID within the club or the facility with the following information: your name, the date, location, and time of sessions attended, your phone number, and your email address. In all other instances, personal information will be kept confidential. Skate Ontario, Skate Canada, Rideau Skating Club members, and other organizations, as directed by Ottawa Public Health, will only be notified that a case has been identified, but no personal information. In addition to that, we do ask that you go into your registration, into your account on our registration system and ensure that your email address and your phone number are up to date. So that way, because that is the information that we're going to provide to Ottawa Public Health for them to contact you, or that will be the information we will be contacting you with should there be a case of COVID-19. We have developed a communication plan for this year. Some highlights of it include that we will do an email update with every update to the club's COVID-19 protocols. We will distribute any information via email, and we will also post on our website. Please ensure that on your account within our registration system, you have checked off that you will receive both kinds of, or all kinds of emails, so that way you will ensure that you get all information. The club will provide a monthly update during the return to play process, and we will hold a webinar similar to this for any major changes to our return to play. A member of the COVID-19 Oversight Committee will follow up with any individuals who become unwell with symptoms during club activities. And we will be storing all of our session participation tracking sheets in our registration system. If it is determined that a club member has been tested for COVID-19, we will work with public health to inform all individuals who have been in close contact with an individual. An exemption to this, once again, is if you are tested as part of routine testing for their workplace or personal reasons. And again, that relates to long-term care and any other situation where routine testing does occur. So now the part you guys are waiting for, which is the more arena-specific guidelines. So for the month of September, all sessions will be at Fred Barrett Arena. The current plan from the City of Ottawa is to open Manotick on September 28th. We are still awaiting confirmation that that will occur, but that is the hope at this time. For all sessions except for Tuesday in September, the sessions will be starting 30 minutes later. Please remember to check your emails for any emails from Club Administrator, as Margot will send out an email for any time changes that may occur. So everyone must wear a mask when in the facility. Masks may only be removed by skaters and coaches while on the ice skating. And all skaters and coaches must wear winter gloves, and these gloves should be washed or changed daily. So if you go into this document, we have a link for Fred Barrett, and once we have our protocols for Manotick, we will upload them and link it in as well. So at Fred Barrett at this time, the maximum number of skaters on a session, skaters and coaches total permitted on the session is 20. The maximum number of people within the facility is 25. We have a new screening waiver with very similar questions for fall 2020 that has been provided by Ottawa Public Health. So the waiver includes if you have any of the following symptoms: fever, cough, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, sore throat, difficulty swallowing, runny nose unrelated to seasonal allergies, loss of taste or smell, not feeling well, headache, unexplained tiredness and muscle aches, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, or abdominal pain. And if in the last 14 days you have had close physical contact with a person who was sick with a respiratory illness, had a new or worsening cough, fever, or difficulty breathing, has returned from travel outside of Canada in the last 14 days, or was a confirmed or probable case of COVID-19. Or if you, in the last 14 days, have traveled outside of Canada. So you will be screened. We ask that you pre-screen at home, but you will be verbally screened again when you arrive at the arena. We ask that participants arrive at the arena fully dressed, except their skates, gloves, and helmets. We are permitted to change, however, in the dressing rooms, but there is no access to the showers. Those needing assistance tying their skates must put their skates on outside of the facility. And please ensure you bring proper hard skating guards if you will be putting skates on outdoors, as no chairs or rubber matting will be provided outdoors. At this time, parents will not be permitted to enter the building or spectate ice times. They will only be permitted for pickup and drop-off only. The City of Ottawa has confirmed that they will hopefully have an update on Friday in regards to a possible change to this rule. However, please plan that your skaters will be putting their skates on in the parking lot if they require your assistance. Skaters should wear a mask outside when warming up, and outdoor warm-ups are permitted if physical distancing requirements are maintained. Skaters should arrive a minimum of 20 minutes before their scheduled session. Beginning 20 minutes before their scheduled session, they will be permitted entry to the dressing rooms. Participants will stand in the designated wait area at the front of the facility in spots marked for physical distancing with their masks on. They will be greeted by a Rideau Skating Club coach or volunteer who will verbally screen all skaters and coaches before they are permitted to enter the facility. Once the entire group is there, we will be allowed to enter the facility. We can sometimes enter in 2 waves, but we do ask that you show up those 20 minutes before to ensure that people don't have to stand outside waiting for you to show up before they can go in and put on their skates. So when you enter the facility, you will enter through the front doors and you will proceed directly to your assigned dressing room. For those of you not familiar with Fred Barrett, there's 2 boards. So there's one in behind where the staff sit, which is directly in front of the door. And then there's a board just to the side of where they are for the dressing rooms. And the dressing room should be indicated there, or the person who is doing screening may be able to tell you in advance what dressing room you will be going to. The dressing rooms have on each door a maximum number of skaters. This ranges from 7 to 12 depending on the room. Please ensure that we do not go over those maximums within the change rooms. Once your skater is ready, they must wait in the dressing room until the session before them has exited the ice and entered their dressing room. Once that session has entered their dressing room, skaters can proceed as they're ready through the double doors in the lobby to the west ice pad. As you enter the hall, please ensure that the other group is not trying to exit the facility. We want only one cohort in the hallway at a time. Belongings may stay in the dressing room. However, water bottles, tissues, anything valuable, and anything else the skater may need while on the ice should accompany them to the ice surface. Upon entering the ice surface through the door marked enter, skaters must maintain a minimum of 2-meter distance for the duration of the skate from coaches and other participants unless they are from the same household or social circle. You may store your essential personal belongings on the boards along the players' benches. There will be no access to the players' benches permitted at this time. Fred Barrett has identified marks on the board every 6 feet, so you know how far apart you should put your stuff from the other skaters. Only coaches may touch the music. Rideau Skating Club coaches are responsible for bringing the club iPad or their personal music playing system, and the cord will be stored in the toy box. At the end of your session, you will head to the center door marked exit, and you will put your mask back on before you exit the ice surface. You will then proceed to the same dressing room you used when entering for skate removal. Skaters should remove their skates and follow the arrows to exit the building within 20 minutes of the end of their session. If the next session is late entering, please wait until the hallway and doorway have been cleared to exit the facility. Right now, we exit the facility the same door we enter. So when you come out of the change rooms, you're going to go to the right and you're going to head back to the door you entered. And that's why we want to make sure that no one's coming in as you're trying to enter or exit. If you are in back-to-back sessions, you're permitted to stay within the west ice pad during the flood, but physical distancing must be maintained and you should re-enter through the center door. Once you have completed all your sessions and you're outside, please quickly stretch and leave the premises. So a few other reminders. We ask that you bring in as little as possible at this time. So if you have personal belongings like skating bags, we ask that you still leave them in your vehicle if available and where possible. Participants must use individual water bottles, tissue boxes, etc. during training sessions. No sharing of these items are permitted and the water fountains are closed. Skaters must have their own closed containers, Ziploc bag or some other container that you can close to put your tissues in. They can be disposed of at home or in a lidded garbage container in the facility. We also ask that you put your name on your water bottle. At this time, washrooms will be accessible for skaters and coaches during their sessions. And I believe Fred Barrett is planning to open the washrooms, but not the showers in the dressing rooms. However, we are waiting for confirmation on that. In the summer, they did have the water off in the dressing rooms and they asked us to use the main washrooms. So they should have signage up though. If your skater is injured on the ice, the coaches are responsible for giving first aid. If the skater needs to leave the facility for any reason, one coach will escort them to meet their parent. And in the event of serious injury, the other skaters will exit the facility and the parent and paramedics would then be able to enter the facility. Volunteers, so we are in need of volunteers for every session to help us with our participant tracking sheets. If you are interested in volunteering, please contact me at covid@rideauskating.ca. Volunteers must wear a mask when completing the screening and if they are in the facility. We encourage our coaches to wear a mask or shield while coaching. Volunteers or coaches will verify verbally that all skaters and coaches have reviewed the self-screening, and they will enter it into our registration system. If someone has failed screening, the COVID Oversight Committee will be notified and we will follow up with that participant. The coaches are responsible for disinfecting the music area and the boards after each session, and we may ask volunteers to assist with some disinfecting as the season goes on. Coaches should try to coach from one spot on the ice, and they should remain 2 meters apart from skaters and other coaches. We are permitted now to use the harness. We do not have a harness. We do not have a mounted harness at Fred Barrett, but hopefully when Manotick reopens, we'll have access to that. Once that occurs, skaters and coaches must always wear a non-medical face mask when in the harness. The harness has to be disinfected and sanitized before and after using a spray or wipe. The coach and skaters need to use hand sanitizer before and after use of the harness. And we recommend that you change your winter gloves and sweater. Whenever possible, the coaches should try to maintain that 2-meter distance while skaters are in the harness. That will obviously not be possible when we're checking to make sure the harness is fitting properly, but as soon as we can, we will back up. And harness lessons should be limited to no more than 15 minutes, with adequate time allowed between lessons to disinfect the equipment. So that is my very long spiel on our current protocols. Is there any questions? I see that Jan answered one in the chat while I was talking. So if you summer skate it, all skaters, your waivers are in Uplifter, so you don't need to worry about completing a waiver again. Anybody else?
Sorry, Melissa. Even if they did a waiver in the summer, they'll be asked to complete a waiver when they register.
Yes.
Yeah, even if it was done already.
Okay, if there's no questions, I want to thank everyone for their time tonight. I will hopefully have an email for you on Friday with an update on if spectators are permitted in the facility. Fingers crossed that some sort of spectators are allowed in the facility, as I know the parents really want that. And thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you starting on Monday. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Melissa. See you soon, everybody.